Oh, what's up, solutionaries? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Maj 2 Ray Show. We got an interesting one tonight. Y'all know we do this Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/Maj 2 Ray. You know the rules. When you come into the chat, when you come into the show, comment. If you're watching on YouTube, comment in the chat. Don't be shy up in this joint. We all solutionaries. We all family. That's important. Comment where you from. Hit the like button. Comment what city you from. Comment what platform you watching. I just want y'all to comment because I can see which platform you're watching when you comment. But anyway, if you're watching on X, make sure that you repost. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you copy the link. If you're watching on YouTube, you should follow the YouTube X page at Maj2Ray999. Right? If you're watching it on X, you should obviously repost, but at the same time, subscribe to the YouTube channel. B. Amos for Paxville, South Carolina. What's up? How are you? Also, another rule, guys. Y'all know how it go. Mahagan, what's up? From VA, watching on YouTube. Appreciate that. Y'all know the rules. We try to get 10 folks to do $20 super chats. You guys can do the math. If we do that 5 times a week, we hit that goal. That's $200 an episode. That $200, 5 times is $1,000 a week, and that money goes into our work at the Solutionary Center. Basic firearms classes, stop the bleed, conflict resolution, all of these things. This is what we do. Support the work. When you tap into the Maj 2 ratio, we are taking politics, pop culture, entertainment, sports, and all of those things, and we turn it into solutions for you guys. And today we're going to have this conversation about the DC so-called crackdown and the federal agents confronting innocent civilians. Innocent. When I made some content about this a few days ago, and I told y'all that this Trump shit was going to be stupid. And yes, it's lawful because the District of Columbia is not a city technically. It's not a state. It's a District of Columbia. Okay? And since that's the case, yes, federal crackdowns can happen. But to me, the bigger concern is this is a rollout. And I know some of y'all going to say, Maj, that's the conspiracy theory talk. Listen, the conspiracy theory has been up for the last half a decade. Damn near more than half a decade. What up, Quantel? How are you? The conspiracy theory has been right since 2020, okay? If you're watching the page died suddenly, you're seeing a ton of deaths associated with the jab, but all of the conspiracy theorists told y'all, don't put that in your body. The conspiracy theorists damn near batting 1,000. And tonight we're going to, before we even get to that, I know I'm right. I don't need nobody to confirm that I'm right. But I want to have the discussion about why we should be presenting. I would like to be made wrong. I would like to be made wrong based on the fact that people got involved, got civically engaged, and looked at this and paid attention to what's happening. Doing something like what Trump is doing and potentially rolling it out, and even for the people of D.C., is just wrong. We are already seeing, it's been a few days, we are already seeing Americans being harassed by so-called law enforcement, going out to look for fucking crime. Nobody called you. What's up, Bookworm? Quantel, what's up? Protocol, what's up? Again, guys, we need 10 folks at the $20 super chat level. And if you're giving a super chat, please, I want everybody, please do me a huge favor. If you know a small business, if you know you have a small business, anything like that, put the name of that small business or the website or something like that, put it in the super chat. We are supposed to help each other, and that's what the Maj 2 Ray Show is about. But anyway, we're going to look at this video real quick, okay? And I'm going to pause in between. We're going to look at this video. This is from Washington, D.C. a few days ago, okay? And in this video, you see federal agents just showing up at somebody's back porch, fucking harassing Americans. Let's check it out real quick. Again, tell me what y'all think. Comment, share, repost. I want everybody that's watching this. Y'all should be reposting it. See, and this is what grinds my gears. What grinds my gears is I say, yo, share the post. It don't cost y'all nothing. Obviously, we need resources to do the work, but I say share the post. Come on, y'all. Repost. It's free. It costs you $3.99. But let's get to the video right here, and I'll pause in between as we move forward.
How y'all doing today? Y'all staying in that trouble? You got your ID on you, Chip?
No, I live right here.
Let's stop it right there. First, he tried to do a voluntary, get him to agree to the contract, to engage. Hey, how you guys doing? You guys staying out of trouble? That's not an innocent question like this officer's just trying to make conversation. Once you start talking to that officer, you're now having a voluntary engagement. Don't talk to him. It's nothing to talk about.
Okay, cool.
It's a cigarette.
He's asking him for his ID. He's saying, I live here. No, I don't have my ID. I live here. It's a cigarette. So he thought he was smoking weed. Mind you, having up to 2 ounces of cannabis is legal in the city of DC.
Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't
Federal
follow like
No.
Code 3, anything like that people are putting up? All right, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together for 7 days and going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside, right? Most people know that. Right? So we're contacting people.
Quality of life offenses. Crime has to produce a victim. Quality of life offenses is a bullshit justification to get people arrested. Like, you guys ever notice how back in the day on those old TV shows, the winos would drink their beer, but they had to have it covered in a brown paper bag? Because you could be outside drinking, but if people knew that it was beer or alcohol, you would get arrested. They would give you a ticket. Potentially, they would cite you, give you a citation, or potentially arrest you. Arrestable offenses for drinking something that you purchased in America, the so-called land of the free, that you purchased publicly. So that's where the whole, you got to keep it in a brown paper bag. So when you go to like a liquor store or them little stop and goes in the hood, and they always put your beer in a brown paper bag covering what the name of the actual liquor is or the beverage, that's the reason why. So we're talking about quality of life offenses that have produced absolutely no fucking victim. In a city, DC, where you are allowed to have up to 2 ounces of cannabis, but if you got a joint rolled, you can't smoke it. How the fuck is that freedom? Let's continue.
Trying to advise them of the law so they learn, right? And then if there's other stuff going on where it turns into there's multiple agencies of somebody, there's a shooting and things like that. So there's extra hands to go, all right? So we're just out here trying to inform people and educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life over a joint or something.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. He just said, we out here just trying to inform people, not damage somebody's life over a joint. The reason why he even came over to this gentleman was because he assumed when the guy was smoking a cigarette, he assumed that he had weed. So on one hand, he asked him for his ID because he assumed he had weed, not knowing that he's where he lives at, asking him for ID to potentially run him. And now he's saying it's not like we're trying to destroy somebody's life over a joint. You're a fucking liar.
I only asked because when you walked up, at the moment you walked up, you only had eggs.
Yeah, well, it smelled like the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? And you're the only guy that had something lit in your hand, and I didn't flashlight you, so I didn't realize it was just a cigarette. So that's on me. I appreciate you understanding.
So he just contradicted himself. You showed up to potentially arrest somebody for or cite somebody for a quality offense. Walking down regular ass streets. This looks like it's the back alley. You're walking down back alleys looking to manufacture crime. And I can't wait for one of you motherfuckers in the comment section. Again, we're going to open the lines up for people to come give their perspective. I can't wait for one of you bootlickers to jump out here and say, somehow this makes Americans more safe. It's bullshit.
And not getting chippy. All right, so just know, right? Learn, teach, tell your boys, like, yo, everybody's out. From FBI to park police. Right? So do your thing, let them know, don't be smoking outside, don't be drinking outside. Because Donald Trump is tired of it. People coming to visit.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know smoking in public?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the arrestable
Because
offense.
they're learning this recreational use, so I didn't know.
Yeah, so DC, it's recreational use as well, right? But you can legally possess up to 2 ounces. You can gift an ounce to your boy, right? So if you had 2 ounces and he said he needed a zip, you can give him a zip. But you can't smoke outside.
Okay, this is the stupid shit. And I just really want to hear from y'all. I really do. Okay, I really do. Because I'm open to being wrong. I want y'all to be very clear. I'm open to being wrong. There's nothing wrong with me saying, hey, sometimes I'm wrong. This ain't one of them times. I want to be very clear that this ain't one of these times. And I want to read you guys. Let me find it real quick. I want to read y'all what my perspective on this was. Okay? Because this is what this is. I'm pulling it up right here. Okay? This is what this actually is. This is a freestanding army. And I don't care if you like Trump or not. I don't care. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome, and I don't have Trump dick riding syndrome. I don't have that with any politician. Okay? I go by the Constitution and limiting government. So if you're a Trump dick rider or you're a Trump derangement syndrome person, you can come to the show every night and get a little bit of education on whichever extreme opposite end of the balance that you're on. But Trump has done this in D.C., and yes, it's lawful because D.C. is federally controlled. Okay? But Trump is also talking about we may do this in other cities. We may do this in other towns. We may, it's quick, it's easy. We may do this in New York. Okay? But I want y'all to tell me where I'm wrong. I don't want y'all to tap into the show just so you could be like, yeah, Maj is right. If you genuinely believe I'm right, that's awesome. But if you like, nah, this ain't it, Maj, because of this, I want to hear you guys' perspective. That's very important. Okay? It's very important. But to me, this looks like a dry run. This looks like a dry run. Now, let me tell y'all what I mean by dry run. I want to read this to you all. These are what the founding fathers of America, with their contradictions. These guys put some stuff down on limiting government that made America arguably one of the greatest nations ever. I'd say all of the time, the Constitution is up there with me with the 42 laws of my eye. It's an amazing document. Only if we could actually live it and consistently live it and not dick ride any politician that either violates or is not acknowledging the Constitution. But these are what some of these gentlemen said. And again, I do not dick ride anybody. Somebody get it right, I tell them they right. Somebody get it wrong, they get it wrong. And I can still like you or dislike you whichever way. James Madison, a standing army is one of the greatest mischiefs that can possibly happen. This is from the debates in the Virginia Convention in 1787. This is James Madison, one of the framers and founders, saying, a standing army, which is what this Trump administration is doing right now in D.C. A standing army is one of the greatest mischiefs that can possibly happen. These were men that were coming from a tyrannical situation under the rule of the British Crown and King George. That's why they had the Revolutionary War, one of the reasons. And they made a document that had, based on common law, based on natural rights, and they said, nah, overreaching government is a horrible, horrible thing. And the way that they're able to encompass overreaching government is by having freestanding armies. Next, as the greatest danger to liberty is from large standing armies, it is best to prevent them by an effectual provision for a good militia. This is notes of the debates from the 1787 Federal Convention. Okay? I'm going to read that again. The greatest danger to liberty is from large standing armies. It is best to prevent them by an effectual provision for a good militia. That means you, the people, being armed. Now, everybody's bitching about DC having so much crime. They're saying that. But DC is anti-Second Amendment. So you ignore the Constitution, you ignore the Bill of Rights, you ignore the people that have the means to defend themselves from the criminals. You do that as government. You say, well, you got to have limitations on this in D.C. It's an anti-gun town. Then you say, we'll solve the problem. We'll bring more police officers with what? Guns to protect you while violating the Fourth Amendment as evidenced in this video right here. I want somebody to tell me where the fuck I'm wrong. And that's the problem with being right all the time. It's not because I'm super smart. It's because I'm paying attention to history. This is why we have a civics damn near American history class in the Solutionary 9. Because when you see this silly shit that's happening right now, you step back and you go, wait a minute. This is stupid. The founders told us about this. Let's get the likes up, everybody. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I want everybody to be subscribed to the channel. I give y'all about 30, 40 minutes to an hour Monday through Friday. We got to spread this everywhere. I'm telling y'all, listen, If you voted for Trump, I know some people tripled for Trump. I ain't mad at you. Again, we don't do the Trump derangement syndrome. But just because you like somebody does not mean you don't hold them to a standard. Okay? It doesn't mean that. Let's read a little bit more. Alexander Hamilton. Standing armies are dangerous to liberty. The Federalist Papers, 1787. For those of you that don't know about the Federalist Papers, we go over that. It's a whole module breaking down some of the Federalist Papers and anti-Federalist and Federalist in our civics course. This is every single thing we're doing right now. Centralize the money supply. Restricting human rights that are codified in the Constitution and Bill of Rights. Freestanding armies. These are literally things that have destroyed empires and strong republics in world history. Forget about just America. Greece fell this way. Rome fell this way. China's dynasties fell this way. Degenerate shit. These are all things that make empires, republics fall. Okay? And these guys knew this. This is why we have these things in the class. But anyway, Hamilton, standing armies are dangerous to liberty. Federalist Papers. Thomas Jefferson, none but an armed nation can dispense with a standing army. The founders at the time in American history had to house the redcoats, meaning when they were colonies of King George, they had to house the tax collectors, the redcoats, the cops. They were a standing army that patrolled the colonies, collecting revenue, taxation without representation, another key reason for the Revolutionary War. They had to house them. So when they fought and got them off of them, and when they made the Constitution, they said, we are not going to do freestanding armies. That is what law enforcement. Somebody do a quick Grok search. I want somebody to comment in the chat. Tell me how many law enforcement officers are employed by the state of New York. Somebody find it out and put it in the chat. These are freestanding armies. These are the opposite of what the founders of America said. And if I'm the black dude that can wrestle with the contradictions that America had as it relates to the founding fathers, slavery, right? How are we going to handle it? How are we going to get rid of it? If I can still give these dudes their propers, and I'm the black dude, especially if you're not black, you should be able to hold these politicians that are in violation of these great ideals that these guys had. You should be willing to say, no, this is not right. Tell me where I'm wrong, solutionaries. Tell me where I'm wrong. Elbridge Gary. What, sir, is the use of the militia? It is to prevent the establishment of a standing army, the bane of liberty. Meaning the opposition, the bad guy, the villain, like Bane in the Batman movie. The use of a militia is to prevent the establishment of a standing army, the bane of liberty. This was also spoken during the floor debate over the Second Amendment in the first Annals of Congress, August the 17th, 1789. So for hundreds of years, way back with all of our technological advanced whatever, our iPhones, our Wi-Fi, all of that, we further away from liberty than those guys was a few hundred years ago. Next year, America will be 250 years old. They knew this back then. George Mason, hugely underrated founding father. That's where George Mason University, I think is down in Virginia, okay? That's named after him. Very lesser known founding father, but serious on that liberty shit. George Mason says that a well-regulated militia composed of the body of the people trained to arms is the proper, natural, and safe defense of a free state. The standing armies in times of peace should be avoided as dangerous to liberty. Somebody tell me how the fuck this ain't a freestanding army. Let's look. Mohagan says 34 to 35,000 in New York. Law enforcement officers. That's a small city. That's a standing army. Corporal Kickass says about 64,000 sworn law enforcement officers in New York State. That's a fucking Super Bowl. Okay? Mohagan says that 34 to 35,000 is just New York Police Department, the city of New York. Double that for the whole state of New York. That is a freestanding army. And it's people doing that job that are not qualified, that don't train, that aren't serious about protecting the people. They're trying to just get their benefits, get a pension on your tax dollars, which are highly devalued, inflated dollar. Okay? They're not about what's on their courtesy, professionalism, and respect. They don't even have a legal obligation to fucking defend your life. They don't. Tell me where I'm wrong. Let's read a little bit further, though. I want to play some more videos, too. Joseph's story. It is against sound policy for free people to keep up large military establishments and standing armies in times of peace, both from the enormous expenses, tax dollars, with which they are attended, and the facile means which they afford to ambitious and unprincipled rulers to subvert the government, good government, or trample upon the rights of the people. This is during the commentaries on the Constitution in the United States, 1833. I'm going to read that again. They afford to the ambitious and unprincipled rulers. That means that freestanding army, local police departments, like these local, state, and federal agencies, federal agencies that Trump is unleashing in D.C., which he lawfully can because it's not a city. That city was always under the control of Congress. Okay? Those police chiefs, they're not elected. They're hired. Okay? Your police chief in your city was not elected. When the mayor won through an election, that mayor, he or she, chose who their police chief was going to be. It's not me making it up. So those standing armies, they afford to, meaning they work for the ambitious and unprincipled rulers to subvert good government or trample upon the rights of the people. Somebody tell me how this is not a trampling of the Fourth Amendment rights. Somebody tell me. I'm D.A. Brown with the $10 super chat. Says, get ready, Philly's next. They supposed to start on Michael Henson Way sometime in August. Okay? Ryan in South Florida, what's up? Guys, let's get them super chats and the likes up. Everybody hit the like button. If you're watching on X, I need everybody to repost this. Because there's too many of my Trump supporters that's dick riding too much. And I'm not saying that to be mean to y'all. I'm saying it to y'all to go, hey, we have an obligation to limit government. Do we want the type of America that we all can benefit from? The founders had it right as it relates to the things that we should be ignoring and not doing. Okay? And I know I'm D.A. Brown says, get ready, Philly's next. And I know some of y'all going to say, oh, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. He only going to do it in D.C. I hear you. But let's listen to what Trump actually said. Let's listen to it real quick, what he said about it. So when you say, Maj, you tripping. Maj, that, oh, you couldn't hear? Y'all couldn't hear the shit? Oh, let me play it again. Oh, man, what the hell just happened? Y'all couldn't hear Trump? Let me play it again. Let me run it back. Can y'all hear now? What the fuck is going on? Y'all can't hear this shit? All right, let me pause this real quick. Basically, what Trump is saying here is this. Still can't hear. I don't know what the fuck just happened. I'm going to post this later. But basically what he said is, we're going to do this we're looking at LA. We're looking at New York. He starts going on and weaving, talking about Pritzker. Okay? Read that right there. It says, Trump says that he may take control of New York, Chicago, and other cities just like D.C. That's what the video is saying. It's only a minute and 15 seconds, so we won't have to play it again. But I'll post it on my X page after this so y'all can see it. But my point here is he's basically saying the mayor of LA is incompetent. He's talking about Mayor Karen Bass, right? Chicago, New York, where he's from. These cities do not have home rule. I said this to y'all a few days ago in the sense of when I said DC is a rollout. It's lawful to do it in DC because DC was created via the Constitution as the seat of power in DC. Okay? It was never like a city or a state. They took some of the land, 10 square miles of like Maryland, Virginia, you know what I mean? And they made DC. So it was always under federal control. But in 1973, that situation happened with the home rule. That was specifically for DC. Okay? Not for any other city or state in America. So then if they start pressing people, and if the Trump supporters, let me break it down this way, y'all. If the Trump supporters get behind it just because, Trump's our guy, they can just put all types of bullshit. The Palantir thing, this is Trump. You can't run that same play. Let's say if Kamala Harris would have won. Let's just go with that. Do you think that the Republicans would be okay with what he's doing right now if Kamala Harris was doing it? Let's just say, look, Kamala Harris wins, and when she wins, she says, I'm going to take federal control over DC, even though it's lawful. The Republicans would have pushed back against it. Oh, this is one world government. Oh, this is da-da-da-da. If she would have even uttered what you can read right there, and again, I'm going to repost it on my X page. If she would have even said, hey, I think after I've taken federal control over DC, I think I'm going to look to do the same thing and inserted Republican cities. Do you think that people would have been okay with it? No. But they need you to just be like, our guy is in charge, so you'll go with a different flavor of authoritarianism. Do you think that if Kamala Harris would have won and she would have said, we're going to get behind Ukraine, as fucking Trump has said, I want you Republicans to wake up. I'm not a Republican. I'm a libertarian. I'm about liberty. And that means I'm in alignment with the liberty philosophy. Because the parties sometimes do some stupid shit. Let's be very clear. I ain't got no picks. But okay, you Republicans got to wake up. He argued against spending money in Ukraine. And where he's been spending money? Ukraine and fucking Israel. If Kamala Harris would have won, would you Republicans be okay with the same thing that he's doing if Kamala would have been doing it? No. He's spending money in Israel. They're our biggest ally. There's this, the Palantir. That budget, thanks to this administration, we have now cracked over $37 trillion in debt. $37 trillion in debt. What did the founders say? Do not centralize the money supply. Is Trump pro-gun? No. Instead of arming the people of D.C., since it's federal, and saying the people of D.C. have a federal constitutional right as codified in the Second Amendment to the Bill of Rights to defend themselves from criminals like the people in Florida do, like the governor in Florida does, right? And them sheriffs down there, those constables. If he would have said that, the crime that he's talking about would have dropped significantly. But let's go back to the Kamala situation. If she would have linked up with Elon Musk, who partnered with Peter Thiel, that's the creator of, those are the creators of PayPal. Those two guys, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, or Thiel, or however you pronounce his name, is in control of Palantir. Palantir is creating biometric eye scans that they can scan everybody with, like the movie I Am Legend. And they're saying, oh, it's just going to be for illegals. That's bullshit. They said the same thing about the fucking Patriot Act. That's who Peter Thiel is. Do you know who was groomed by Peter Thiel? J.D. Vance, the vice president, bankrolled, allegedly told Trump, get him as your guy. Why? Because he got him in his pocket. If Kamala Harris would have done all of this, do y'all think that the Republicans would be okay with it? I want to hear y'all in the chat. Again, hit the likes. Let's get the like buttons up, y'all. If you're watching this on X, repost, repost, repost. We need to talk about these things. This ain't a Trump derangement syndrome situation. The dude is looking hella fucking compromised. And we got to be honest about it. I'm with you to a certain extent. I disagree with what he's saying as it relates to DC. But the reality is, it is lawful in the state of DC for him to do what he's doing. It's lawful. It's lawful. But then when you start flirting with the idea of, we're going to do this in Chicago, we may have to take that over. That is fascism. And I hate that this administration is making me sound like a fucking leftist. You know how they call everybody a fascist. Fascism isn't just a mindset of disagreeing with people. That's just being closed-minded. Fascism is when government ignores standard operational procedures and standards and limitations, government limitations, restrictions, limited government, and just says, fuck it, we doing what we doing. And this is why it's always back-to-back executive orders, back-to-back executive actions. They are ruling by decree. Yet again, what the founding fathers said, do not do. This is why there's a system of checks and balances. I'm telling y'all, this is all given up. I get his game up in a civics class. This is why all of y'all should be solutionaries. All of y'all should be in the solutionary 9. All of y'all. Bookworm says, compromise is just a typical Republican. Most people are okay with their flavor of fascism. I don't think he's a typical Republican. I think he's a Republican in name only. I think he was raised as a elitist Democrat. And I think Republicans are so ready to be in charge or say their guy won and we own the left, we own the Dems, that you'll go along with stupid shit and highlight people that did stupid shit. Ronald Reagan was a fucking devil. Yeah, I said it. Anti-gun California is because of Ronald Reagan. The Mulford Act, he supported that. Okay? I got video of Ronald Reagan literally saying there is no reason that no American should be walking around our streets with a loaded gun. That's what Ronald Reagan says. And I stopped getting invited to CPAC because at the Ronald Reagan dinner, I told motherfuckers that. Don't tell me about a Ronald Reagan dinner. He wasn't a limited. I choose Massey over Trump. That's the homie. I'm going to keep it a buck. Y'all see the t-shirts, Black Guns Matter.shop? Massey greater than Trump. I believe that. So when we say, is he a typical Republican? Nah. I think that most Republicans don't even know what Republican is. I think most people that are calling themselves conservatives are actually culturally conservative, but they don't understand political conservatism. A major component of that is limiting government. And Donald Trump right there, literally that video that for whatever reason, the deep state got me, the audio won't play, but he says it right there. We may take control of New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles and other cities like DC. And that's not fucking lawful at all. And he's going to send law enforcement officers to get their fucking head blown off doing this type of shit. Violating people. It's not okay. When are y'all going to speak up about it? I want to know when y'all actually going to have some balls to be like the founding fathers that y'all be talking about. That's what I'm asking everybody. I want to know when everybody's going to do something about this. When we talk about these issues on the show, and I'm going to wrap up here shortly, y'all, because I'm getting a little upset, and I got to stay calm. Got to keep calm in the middle of chaos to keep a clear head. We solutionary. All right? But let me ask y'all this. When are we going to do something about it? How many times are y'all going to just go, yeah, but he's better than Kamala? Kamala may have not even attempted this silly shit because she knew she would have got massive pushback from the right. And she may not even have confidence in her own base to be okay with this. Maybe. They stand up for murdering babies for sure. But I don't know if they would have been okay with this. So Kamala says, we're going to take over Chicago. Chicago's a Democrat mayor. She wouldn't have even attempted it. All of the cities that he named was, Democrat cities. Chicago, New York, LA. At what point are you guys going to acknowledge that this shit is wrong? At what point are we going to collectively say, we got to start working together, work as a community, nationally? And I don't mean you got to make a national movement, but that's the reason why we created the Solutionary 9 to help each other. We got a private community of people that are networking and helping each other and sharing information and pushing each other and getting each other empowered. There is nothing more empowering than that feeling of transformation because you're smarter, you're healthier, you're in better shape, you're getting your finances together, you're a better shooter, you know more about the Constitution. And I believe that the vast majority of people are going along with this because they don't want to feel left out. I think some people on the right know that this is wrong, but they don't want to say anything because they're not well versed enough to say how this is wrong. That's the reason why y'all tap into the show. My job is to translate the information for you. This isn't about bashing Trump. This is about holding up a standard and being honest about who's not meeting the standard. When Thomas Massey said it, no, I'm not in support of the big, beautiful bill, which just came into law a few days ago. You guys said you were going to cut spending. You're spending at Biden levels and more than Biden levels. No, our job is to go, this is what the job is. This is what the limitations on the job is, meaning the executive branch. And our job is to openly say that and be civically engaged and involved. And to be perfectly honest, we're not doing it. Why are most not doing it? Because you guys are not a part of a thing. They stole something from you. I'm going to be very honest with you all. I was saved when I live in Philadelphia. When I was in high school, I took tours of these buildings. A few summers ago, I took another tour of Independence Hall with my family. I took another tour. I have literally sat where they signed the Constitution since high school. Okay? These things were not taught to us. And I know y'all feel that something is wrong. I'm telling you, we crafted something where you all can have access to empower yourself. Y'all think it's an accident that I can articulate these things so well, vividly, and translate them to y'all in ways that they make sense? Y'all think it's an accident that I could just be on, yeah, this is what I'm saying. And here's the reason why. I didn't go to school for this shit. I'm a high school dropout. But I created something and traveling the country. We created something that can empower you. This transformation is almost indescribable. Okay? It's almost indescribable. It creates a genuine feeling of I could hold it down and really mean it. It's not because we're super duper wise and we're know everything. It's because we look backwards and we have a system. We have a program. We have things in place that we can actively do every day to empower ourselves. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of getting this feeling? Give me by a show of hands. Comment, whatever. Tell me in the chat. Chat, let me know. Comment. YouTube, let me know. Do you feel that this is right, what's happening in DC? And I'm not saying that y'all gotta agree with me fully, okay? I'm not saying that you gotta agree. If you feel like, nah, Maj, you wrong, just give me something in the chat. Tell me. And I want everybody to tap into the Solutionary 9. The link is right there in the chat. If you're watching on X, jump over to YouTube. Jump over to youtube.com/Maj Toure. Hit that link right there. Join the Solutionary 9. This is not me just saying this because I want to sell y'all a program. I'm telling y'all, I have traveled around this country. I've been damn near to every state in America. The people feel the same way. They are dividing us by race, by age, by sex. But when you start getting better finances, better knowledge, feeling better, You step back and you go, wait a minute. Somebody throwing salt in the game, keeping us away from each other. That's why we made the Solutionary 9. I want you all to be in there. I can't tell y'all how great it feels to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Do you know why so many people are not disagreeing with me on this topic? Because I know what I'm talking about. I got historical references, and I'm telling you where it's lawful. DC, you can do that. I don't agree with it. I think it's stupid. It doesn't solve anything. You'd be better off by giving the people of DC the ability to carry firearms. DC could be constitutional carry. If he really was Second Amendment, he would say, there's criminals out there. We want the federally owned space in DC. We want the people to have constitutional carry. But he didn't. He said, I'm going to send people to arrest people. You see that video. This dude walking down on people for a fucking cigarette. I want y'all to tell me what you think. Do you think this is right? Carmelo from OKC says it's either three options. What you mean by that, Carmelo? Express what you mean. Type it out. Tell me if y'all think that this doesn't fit the bill of a standing army. Listen, a standing army is one of the greatest mischiefs that can possibly happen. James Madison. Alexander Hamilton. Standing armies are dangerous to liberty. Thomas Jefferson. None but an armed nation can dispense with a standing army. Elbridge Gerry. What, sir, is the use of the militia? It is to prevent the establishment of a standing army, the bane of liberty. George Mason, the OG. That a well-regulated militia, composed of the body of the people, trained to arms, is the proper, natural, and safe defense of a free state. That standing armies in time of peace should be avoided as dangerous to liberty. Tell me how in this video this does not meet the requirements of a freestanding army.
So we're doing checks.
I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to pause this. Y'all going to follow me to get the video a little bit later. I'm going to repost it because I think we're having some audio issues. I don't know what the hell is happening. I have no idea. But nonetheless, my point in saying this to y'all is this. This is not okay. It is legal. It is legal in the state, in the city of the District of Columbia. Let me rephrase that. It is legal and lawful in the District of Columbia. Slavery was legal. That does not mean it's morally correct. Slavery was legal. That does not mean it is in alignment with natural law or common law. This is wrong morally. It's wrong. Trump attempting to say maybe we'll roll this out to DC, to Chicago, to New York, to Los Angeles. He's throwing red meat to the base because some of the people are going to say, oh, that's because he's racist, because he named mostly black and brown cities. I don't even care about that part. I care about it's wrong and it's an overreach. I'm not going to get boxed into the race conversation as it relates to it. I'm not going to do it. This is an overreach of governmental power, and the fact that he even fucking uttered it tells me, A, he's ignorant of the Constitution, B, he's aware that he can't do it and he's just saying shit which is irresponsible and fucking immature, or C, it's a reason why we should fucking impeach him because it's a violation of the job. And that ain't from a Trump derangement syndrome place. We have to be organized, share the information, and empower ourselves to push back against this. I'm going to tell everybody there's two ways that you can do that if you want to get the information and the transformation that I have experienced, that I have helped thousands of people experience. I can't make y'all do this. I can show y'all how important it is, and I can show y'all how serious and critical this is. Where we at? We in the end game theory. Okay. Mahagan says Trump doesn't want another assassination attempt on him. If you scared, get a dog, Trump. If you scared, get a dog. Get out the way. Get out the way. You acting like a bitch. You got the job now. That's what come with it. Don't try to sell the American people out for whatever reason because you mad that you in the Epstein files, because conveniently, nobody talking about the Epstein files no more. You mad or scared that it's going to be exposed that Epstein introduced you to Melania? You scared about that? I don't give a fuck. If you didn't do nothing with underage girls, I don't care. Or boys, I don't care. All right, I knew him. I didn't know what he was into. He introduced me. We move on. But don't be so afraid of being exposed that you now start leaning the people in a different direction. And that's what it seemed like. You look compromised. You're looking fucking funny in the light. Every single person that's on that cabinet, all of his appointees, Patesh, Bongino, Bondi, RFK Jr., all of them look compromised now. They came in looking like the Avengers. Now they fucking look like nothing. Nothing. But I want y'all to understand this and strengthen yourself. This ain't necessarily they can only do these things if the people remain ignorant. They can only do these things if the people remain ignorant. We have created something that everybody can be a part of. And there's two ways for you to get access to that. One, support paying it forward for other people at givesendgo.com/solutionary. That's the 2-for-1. That's the way that I would prefer everybody do it. Somebody throw that up in the chat. Throw that up in the chat. Okay? givesendgo.com/solutionary. I would rather everybody donate $99 or more, pay it forward for our firearms beginners so they can learn in person for free, and I'm going to give you access to the Solutionary 9. Or just hit the link and go to the Solutionary 9. You get a 2-for-1 if you donate. You get to help our other work, and you get the membership for free. Civics, fire. I ain't even got to go through all of that. I'm just telling you the feeling that goes along with y'all see me out here for however many years. Okay? Y'all see me doing that. It's because it's about reality. givesendgo.com/solutionary. Hit that link. There's a few hundred of you watching the show tonight. Let's get 10 people to donate $100. That's $1,000. And every single one of you donors will get access to that Solutionary 9. Empowerment, transformation, becoming smarter. These things definitely should cost more than $99. But it's not about selling you. It's about empowering you. I cannot explain how empowered and strong I have become from making a serious endeavor. Mahagan is out here doing push-ups, shooting, getting in shape. Mahagan done lost however many pounds, right? Don't even get me started on bearded Cyclops who lost over 100 pounds. These are things that while getting smarter, while we sharing information, y'all should be into this book, The Common Law by Oliver Wendell Holmes. Okay? This is how we have to recreate the republic. We got to start from scratch, and you can start from scratch individually, to your family, to your neighborhood, to your community, and paying it forward for somebody else. I can't make y'all do it. All I can do is share with y'all I don't struggle with the same issues that the general public struggles with, and I don't want what I want for myself, I want for my brothers and sisters. Let's get 10 people, givesendgo.com/solutionary, to come join this lifestyle. You need to be able to be free. Y'all know that I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. You know that what Trump is doing right here is morally incorrect. Sending federal agents to Americans standing army shit, which is the opposite of the founding fathers' principles. Y'all know it's right. Imagine being able to articulate and be independent enough, free thinking enough, informed enough to call it up the middle where you can show I'm not a Trump derangement person. And I'm also not a Trump dick rider. There's a level of freedom that comes along with being able to call them balls and strikes that I want you all to have. Listen to what Bookworm just said. Imagine if they said, what's up, guys? We're out making sure everyone's good to make sure that the neighborhoods are safer. We'll be around if you all need us and keep walking. That's what I want from law enforcement officers. Firemen are not driving around in a fire truck like, yo, y'all ain't setting fires, is y'all? That's not what firemen do. We call them if there's a fire. We didn't fucking call you. The guy in that video said, Did y'all get a call or something? No, they just out here asking people, trying to get Terry stops and voluntary interactions with people, bothering them, fucking with their Fourth Amendment rights. It's not okay. Big Rob says, if young girls were violated and are not grown, why not come out and speak about people on the list? Nobody will hold the past against them and won't need cross-side cash or pay him to put out a list. I'm agreeing. He looking funny in the light. But anyway, this ain't necessarily just about him. They get to do what they do because the general public will continue to support them because we are either ignorant, afraid, or not empowered enough. I want 10 people to hit that link, givesingo.com/solutionary. Donate at whatever level you can. Everybody else, donate whatever you choose. Cool. But if you want access, if you want tools, if you want to inform and defend your family, you're talking about your legacy. The information that we talked about tonight, when that gels in your mind, the freedom that comes along with being able to articulate it from a legitimate space and know what you're talking about, that shit is priceless, man. GiveSingo.com/solutionary. Donate at the $100 level or more. I'll have your email. I'll send you access immediately. You automatically gonna get a membership in the Solutionary 9. Automatically. We have to do more to strengthen ourselves, our family, our community, and take back our country. Anyway, guys, that's tonight's show. I will see you all tomorrow. Share the space all over the place. Hit the repost button. I see that very few people reposted from X. See? We getting what we asking for. Hey, Miles, we love the work. We love what you're doing. And I say repost it, and y'all don't. So maybe after the show, you guys will repost. Would love it. Share it all over Facebook. Share it over YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Maj2Ray. GiveSingo.com/solutionary. I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. Or y'all tell me, comment, hit me with DMs and X after this. Would y'all enjoy 8 p.m. or do y'all want 7 p.m. Eastern? Let me know in the comment section when this is saved. GiveSingo.com/solutionary. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/Maj2Ray. Be safe, be solutionary.